I want to tell you about a story where I witnessed my dad in probably one of the most emotionally helpless spots that I had ever seen him in. You know, I grew up with a stepmom, and by all accounts, she was an amazing mom. She cared for me, she made me feel loved, she went above and beyond to take me to all my different sporting events, but she was my stepmom. She wasn't my mom. And I'm a Capricorn, so I was a pretty stubborn kid at times, no doubt about it. And there was a moment where we were sitting around the kitchen table and we were working through a disagreement that we had. And to this day, I can't tell you what it was about. But I remember distinctly my father putting his head down into his hands, just in the middle of the disagreement. And I'll never forget that moment. I have no idea what emotions my father must have been struggling with and how he must have been torn between the woman that he loved and his son. And that moment is ingrained in my mind because I often think, man, if my dad had been equipped with some tools and skills on how to be able to better manage his emotions, identify his emotions, communicate about those emotions, what would he have done in that moment? And so maybe you're a man out there that's going through a similar type of situation where you feel like there's a lot of different chaos going on within the family unit. You don't quite know what to do or how to handle it. And perhaps at the deepest level, you're struggling as it relates to your own emotions. Maybe you need help in learning how to identify them. Maybe you need help in learning how to communicate them. You see, we have to be able to identify the emotion before we can ever communicate it. And so that's what my intention is. And that's how I help people, is I help men identify their emotions, allow themselves to even have those emotions, and then figure out healthy and effective ways to communicate those emotions. And so I often go back and I wonder, what would have happened if my father had the tools and the abilities and the skills to better navigate those emotions that he was experiencing and communicate them? And that was one of the biggest reasons why I decided to get into becoming a counselor, and kind of maybe naturally why as much as 75% of the individuals that I work with are men. And the biggest thing that we work on is identifying emotions, giving ourselves permission to be okay with feeling those emotions, and then learning how to communicate those emotions with the people that we love.